Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is an exciting video. This is actually my first community video, and what I'm gonna do today is we're gonna do a Q&A session. Through Instagram and Facebook I collected some questions and we're gonna go through them. I've divided them in 4 categories. Some are work related, some are more about family life and being a father. The others are about my learning and self-development, and the last part is about relaxation and hobbies. So I'm gonna get the questions and then we're gonna get started. Let's see. Alright, so the first question in the category of work is: what does a normal working day look like for a family doctor? Of course, it depends on which practice you work, but regularly in Netherlands we start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and from 8 till around 10 you see patients at the practice, and then from 10 to 10:30 we have a coffee break and we can discuss important things with the whole team. And afterwards we have some time to make some phone calls, usually 15 minutes to half an hour, and from 11 till 12:30 usually another patient consultation time, and after that from 1:30 to 2 usually, and we have 1.5 hours to see patients at home, to have some lunch, to take a rest, and sometimes if it's quiet you can usually do something for yourself. So sometimes I take a little stroll and then get back into work at 2. From 2 till around 4 you see patients again, and then the last hour from 4 to 5 you have time to finish off everything, to make some phone calls with specialists in the hospital where necessary. Sometimes do another home visit if it's really necessary, and basically make sure that everything is finished and that you don't leave anything unfinished for your colleague tomorrow. So that's basically a normal working day. I'm lucky at the moment because at this moment I can work from home, so that's really unusual, but I found a practice that needs a consultation doctor from home. I can do all the things that are digital, so I can make phone calls, I can supervise the assistants, I can prescribe medicine, I can call my colleagues in the hospital for consultation, and sometimes also make referrals and have a look at documents. So it's all possible to do from home, and that's really convenient because in that way, first of all, of course, I don't have to travel to the practice, and secondly, also I have more time to help around with the family life around at home. So that's really nice. But of course, that's probably temporarily. So I'm again slowly looking at different practices in the neighborhood where I can work 1 or 2 days a week. All right, next question. What is the most difficult and most rewarding part of being a family doctor? Let's see, I think the most difficult part is, well, like I said, it's an 8, my working hours are usually from 8 to 5, but it's not like an office job. I mean, you can't always leave the door at 5. Sometimes when there's something urgent or some emergency thing happens, like somebody collapses near the front door of the office, of course you can't say I'm finished, I've got to go home. So that means you have to be more flexible, and you have to put your work first in those cases, because that people depend on you, and it's also one of the things mentioned in the Oath of Hippocrates, that you will be there for your patients in need. So that's something to keep in mind if you're considering becoming a doctor yourself. What's the most rewarding part? I would say it's really unique and special that you get so close to people. Well, of course you see them at your practice, but also you get a chance to see them at home, and that's really something special. And people, of course, trust you and let you come close and examine them. So that's a really special position, and I appreciate that, and I think we should be aware of that as well as doctors. And especially as family doctors, I really like to visit people at home and see their home environment. I think that's something that's really also contributing to being healthy and living healthy. And the last question in the work domain: what would you want to be if not a family doctor? Well, actually, I never had a plan B. When I finished high school, I applied for medicine, and luckily I got in, and I never had a plan B. But now that I think back of it, I don't know for sure, but maybe I would get into some science direction. I'm not sure yet which kind of science, maybe physics or chemistry, because I also like those subjects, and I like teaching in general, so maybe I would become a teacher, who knows. But luckily I got the chance to study medicine and become a doctor, so I'm really happy where I am at the moment. So the next domain is about hobbies and about relaxation. What is your most favorite cuisine? Well, I like foods and I like trying different stuff, different kitchens, cuisines, and especially also when I'm traveling, I like to try and taste local food, sometimes street food. And I'm not sure whether it's my most favorite food, but I really love the Afghan food my mom prepares, probably because it brings back some good childhood memories as well. And it's not something you can find easily in the Dutch restaurants. So I must say nowadays there are many more Afghan restaurants here in the Netherlands, but mostly in the bigger cities. So, but Afghan food is probably up at the top. But I like to switch it around and not eat the same cuisine too many days in a row, because we have to spice things up. And in the same direction, what's the most underrated cuisine in the world? Well, tough question. I'm not sure, to be honest, but I think always when you travel, especially, try to have an open mind and approach local cuisines with curiosity and be open-minded and try new things. I mean, some people always, when I start about sushi, for example, some people say, "Oh no, I hate sushi. I can't withstand the smell of fish," or something like that. But I think once you try things, you get used to them, of course, but then you can also appreciate the different cuisines and tastes and flavors. And I think, of course, you should also be aware of your preferences, but keep an open mind, and you might be surprised. The next domain is about self-development or learning. How do you achieve work-life balance? Well, first of all, I'm lucky that I don't have to work full-time at the moment. I work usually 2 days in a practice during the day, and one night shift, which is from 11 to 8. So I'm fortunate to be able to work 3 or sometimes 4 days a week. Of course, night shifts are a bit more tough for your body and mind to recover, but I would say that's my ideal week. 2 working days during the daylight and 1 or 2 night shifts in a week. So with that, I don't work too much, and I try to also do yoga every day to start the day off with a calm mind, with a flexible body, and with a positive mindset as well. And I always also practice gratitude at the end of the yoga session, so that helps. And besides of that, I try to walk every day for my steps. I try to make 10,000 steps each day. And yeah, and in general, in weekends I try to catch up with family, and during the week also sometimes with friends. So I try to keep the balance there. But of course, sometimes things get out of hand, and if I notice that I am too tired or have too much stress, it's time for a time out, and then I can see what's going on. Usually it's because I'm working too much and getting not enough sleep. So in that case I try to get rid of some work if possible and take a day off and maybe go to a sauna with my wife, because we really like that, and that's, I think, a perfect way to retreat and recover and replenish your energy. So yeah, I think yoga is a big part, and trying to stay active and be in a natural environment where you move and don't work too much. And get enough sleep as well. So that's it actually. What insight on yourself did you learn after becoming a father? Well, becoming a father was really special, and what I really learned is that I should put others first. In this case, of course, my baby son, who needed me, but also to think more of my wife and take care of her when I could, and make sure that she got enough rest, and that I could do more errands and more help around with little things, and work less. So that's what I learned, to put my family first, and I think that's a valuable lesson. And of course you hear and read about these things, but it's really different when you experience it yourself. And now, oh, by the way, yeah, we are expecting our second one now. So my wife is now around 12 weeks, and now I learned that I have to help around even more, because of course she's pregnant and we have a little one running around. So I have to be more at home and also be attentive to everyone. So yeah, it's always about being flexible and paying attention to others. That's important as being as a dad. Let's see, what skill or character trait would you like to have had? I think most character traits are something you can also learn. When I was a teenager, I was really introvert and shy, and I only focused on studying. When I started medicine and started living on my own, that's when I became more outgoing and more extrovert, little by little of course, and got more confident. So I think most character traits are a bit fluid, like water, and they can change. Of course you have some inner layer with your basic self that's constant, so that will stay the same. But how you present yourself and your character, I think in a whole, can slowly change during different courses, different times in your life. But what skill would I like to have had is I would like to be able to play music more. I dabbled a little bit in learning a guitar and playing piano, but I think that's something I would like to put more effort and energy into, and probably it would have helped a lot if I would have started that when I was a young boy. But I think it's never too late to also learn these things. It's all about taking little steps in the right direction, and over time those little steps will add up and will become a big mountain, right? So yeah, music. I think that's one key thing I would like to have learned more. Let's see, what inspired you to start vlogging? Around 10 years ago I started to use, or maybe 15 years ago, I started to use Facebook more, and I like to share things about things I learned, things I encountered, and movies I watched or books I read. And I started noticing that I did like the sharing part. So yeah, a few years ago I started thinking about maybe starting a blog, for writing my thoughts down and sharing these thoughts. But I don't know, maybe I got inspired by seeing some vloggers on YouTube and seeing that vlogging, of course, it's a bit more difficult because you need to record and you need to think about your script and about what you're about to say. So it's more, it takes more effort on that front. But I also think that we are more visually oriented, and that it's a nice way to share your experience, but also develop yourself and get in front of the camera and get more confident about that. So yeah, I think when I started seeing more videos from Ali Abdaal, I thought maybe I should start vlogging as well, and just grab my phone, like in this case, and start. Of course, I do take it more seriously now than 2 years ago, but in essence it's just me, my phone and a tripod and a little mic, and and slowly from there I will take it. So the last domain is about social life and being a father. Well, first question is, what is the best and toughest part of fatherhood? Let's see, I would say the best part is that you see a little human being that resembles yourself and your wife, and you see character traits in him, and also some visually patterns you recognize from yourself or from your wife, and that's really remarkable. I mean, I saw, of course, my little sister was born when I was 11, so I saw her growing up, and it's also beautiful that you can teach a child something, and that in time he or she will learn to copy it and do it him or herself, and that's really something special. But just having your own child and seeing a mini version of yourself developing and learning things is really beautiful. I think this is what I was hoping for, that fatherhood would be, and it's really amazing. So I'm really enjoying it. What is the toughest part of fatherhood? I think it also comes back to what I said earlier about not putting yourself first and thinking of the needs of your family first. I think that's maybe the toughest part. And always try to get enough rest and sleep when you can, because once you have a child that is sick or not sleeping well, it can become really tough. All right, next question. What is the one piece of advice you would give to a soon-to-be dad? Yeah, that's just what I just said. Try to rest as much as possible before becoming a father, before the due date. Try to get enough rest, and if possible, of course, try to take a leave from work. Especially in my case, because I was working as a freelancer, as a locum. I forgot to plan enough leave from work when my son was born. Well, he was actually born like 10 days before planned, but still, for my upcoming child, I will do it differently. I will make sure that I plan enough leave from work and be there just to prepare everything and start well rested, because it can be really tough the first few weeks and a few months probably, and it's good to have some reserves. And the last question is, what are you going to focus on the second half of the year? Well, first of all, I want to take YouTube more seriously, because I just finished the part-time YouTube Academy course by Ali Abdaal, and from now on I would like to focus on making one video every week, maybe sometimes a long form video or sometimes a short, but trying to be consistent and trying to improve each video with at least 1%. That's my goal, and from there on see how the channel grows. And of course, like I said before, my wife is pregnant and we are expecting our second child in November. So yeah, that's also something we have to prepare for, and yeah, that will take, of course, a lot of time, but I'm really looking forward to it. So that are my two things I'm focusing on coming months. That's it for this first Q&A session. Well, I really enjoyed it, and please let me know what you thought about this video, and did you like it? And of course, if you have more questions, don't hesitate and put them in the comment section, and I think I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye.